Thank you, and I give the call to the member for Fisher.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. It's a great pleasure and privilege, in fact, to rise on an occasion which was inevitable and which many of us forlornly hoped would never come. Her Majesty the Queen was unlike any other. The Queen was a great-grandmother whose small stature will forever cast a shadow over the 20th and 21st centuries and beyond. She leaves in her wake a legacy we will never be able to quantify. I vividly recall Her Majesty's visit to the Sunshine Coast in 2002, one of 16 trips to Australia during her reign. Flanked by the leaders of over 50 Commonwealth countries, the royal household descended on the Sunshine Coast for the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting. Here, at a hidden surfers' haven, the Queen gave voice and effect to the historic 2002 Declaration on the Commonwealth in the 21st century. The Declaration committed to eradicating terrorism, fostering cultural diversity and emphasising the Commonwealth as a free association based on democratic ideals. In the wake of 9/11, I remember the constant roar of RAF F-18 Hornet fighter jets circling above the skies of the Sunshine Coast during the course of those few days. Our world seemed to have changed for the worse. Our world was less secure, less optimistic and much more guarded. And yet, through those days of terrorism and change across the world, the Queen was the Commonwealth's constant guiding light for more than 70 years. Her death stilled a frenzied world and continues to bring us together in both gratitude and grief. In my electorate of Fisher, I've been encouraged by the tributes offered in response to Her Majesty's passing. I think of the students of Bedina State School with their fantastic paintings of the Queen, her guard and her beloved corgis. I think of the Caloundra RSL, who hosted a moving memorial service late last week. And I think of Velda Langton, a 96-year-old constituent from Dickey Beach, who penned a poem, The Queen and I. She wrote of the Queen, and I quote, "Her crowning in the Abbey with Prince Philip by her side, the choir singing anthems that memory will abide. That solemn coronation, as per ancient rule and right, had sealed the new Queen's destiny to only do what's right. For her Commonwealth of nations, north, south, east and west, needing God's guidance to know for each what's best." Her Majesty's faith in God, which she called her bedrock, has been noted in the days since her passing. Her pledge to serve was a lifelong vow to her people before her God. This vow she kept. Whether in St George's Chapel on bended knee or enthroned in the House of Lords, it was Her Majesty's example of Christianity, humility and duty which marked this second Elizabethan age. And it really was a defining era. In the face of devastating disasters and the darkness of war and terror, Her Majesty inspired unity, forgiveness and national pride. In our throwaway culture, Her Majesty inspired reverence for ancient tradition. In a world of expanding and what she described as a bewildering pace, the Queen called for greater compassion and connection with one another. The Queen could draw crowds of millions. In fact, as many as 4 billion are said to have watched Her Majesty's funeral. Yet in the same way, Her Majesty inspired families, streets and community groups to join together in intimate celebration of every wedding, anniversary and jubilee. Her faith and her faithfulness, her service and her selflessness have anchored our nation and our family of nations through thick and thin. Our Queen was a constant in moments of national reckoning and global change. She saw 16 Australian Prime Ministers and 16 Governors-General. While kingdoms and countries have risen and fallen, she continued to rule with grit and grace. In closing, I want to share a piece of advice offered by Her Majesty not too long ago. In her 2021 Christmas address, the Queen said, "Adults, when weighed down with worries, sometimes fail to see the joy in simple things." Today we may find the joy in the simple faith and service of Elizabeth the Great. On behalf of the people of the electorate of Fisher on the Sunshine Coast, I offer the royal family my heartfelt condolences. May God keep her and grant her peace, and may God save the King.
Thank you, and I give